Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Hello,
Sir,
you guys can hear me?
am I audible?
Hello?
Sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this session will be recorded, sir. Like, if you could turn on your camera, that would be great.
I think it was disabled. You're not allowed to
Oh,
turn on your camera.
sorry, sir. I'll disable. Yes.
Hey, hi.
Hi, sir. Uh, First of all, thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation for this interaction. Yeah. So first of all, today we have the privilege of interacting with the remarkable individual whose contributions have significantly impacted India's digital landscape. And students, please welcome Mr. Arvind Gopal, a talented software engineer at Juspay, renowned for his pivotal role in one of India's most transformative fintech initiatives, BHIM UPI. And also, Arvind sir is a key architect behind the seamless payment experiences we enjoy today. And he combines the technical brilliance with a passion for innovation, making cashless transactions effortless for millions. And beyond his professional achievements, I, I know that he is a beacon of inspiration for aspiring engineers and demonstrating the power of perseverance, vision, and skill in creating technology that shapes our future. Sir, we are very thrilled to learn from this, from your journey, sir, starting from your college days and to your current role at Justpay, and to hear your invaluable insights in the world of software engineering and beyond. Like everybody, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Arvind Gopal, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
go on. You're asking something.
yes, sir. Sir, just give a few brief lines about you, sir, for our audience, for our participants today.
Yeah, as I was introduced, myself is Arvind, and I studied from 2013 to 2017, passed out in GVP only, which you all are studying right now. Then I joined Juspay. It's an off-campus for all over the Andhra, and I think around 7 folks were selected at that time. In that, 3 of my classmates were selected, and we 3 are working in Juspay. That might say something about Juspay, that like whoever joins doesn't leave that company, and that means there is something special there. Um, yeah. Other than that, I personally like, at least I'm not sure you guys are aware of Gayatri Cultural Club
Yes, we
in.
have a guy. Yes, sir, we are aware of Gayatri Culture
Oh, we are one of the early co-founders, man. Like my super seniors have founded it.
Club. Okay.
I was like, I don't recall my position there, but I had a position when I was studying in GVP at that time. So I'm very much an extracurricular guy. Like if you guys are in college at the same time as me, you would only see me if you're also outside of the classroom. If you guys are inside the classroom, most probably we would have never interacted. But I would have definitely interacted if somebody is like just roaming outside on the corridors. Like I'm very curious to know more people, and I speak dance. Like I like dance, so I like singing, but not professionally or something. But we used to dance like in all those auditoriums, and I think we are one of the early people who did flash mob for GVP.
No.
I think it's 2015 fest. I'm sure it's one of the early fest in GVP also. It's 2015's fest, and like we are all part of that. Like I think core committee or something. I forgot. Yeah. Other than that, I like reading. Like my browsers would be full of too many tabs, and I just like mess around. But I don't read only computers. I read biology. I read astronomy. I read physics. I read math. And I always thought like, okay, I was taught to myself that you can learn from nature. So I try to see like, oh yeah, like why hill is a strong, but not the code I'm writing is not as strong as hill, right? Then what are the properties that a mountain contain but not my code? I think that's some crazy ideas I think about. I think that should give some brief summary about myself.
Thank you, sir. So I think the participants will get most out of this session, sir. So starting with the general question, sir. So before joining the college, before joining the GVP, what motivated you to pursue software engineering?
And it's a very crazy story. I don't want anybody to like think like me, but I'm not sure you guys are aware of this person. It's 2013. Okay, there was a newspaper cutting in Inadu or something.
Okay.
Okay, in that there is this one Anits guy. Okay, and he got around 1.2 crore package.
Okay.
Okay, from Google. Okay,
Okay.
till that point I'm a mechanical guy. Like I even now I like try to learn as mechanical. Right now, I'm not sure you guys are aware of Nammayatri. It's a company in Bangalore, and it's an incubator of Juspay. So I was one of the early contributor to Nammayatri also. They
Okay.
work in auto industry. Right now, we are looking into how to make autos much more better suspension and all, and I'm also working on that. Not full time, but I was also like contributing to that. Anyways, I'm more of a mechanical guy. Okay, but when I saw that cutting paper and I read like, oh yeah, man, somebody is saying crores, right? And I was like, I don't think so. I can like I ever heard a mechanical engineering earning that much. At least in my context, I come from very small village, so I never met any person who is earning more than 50,000 per month. Okay, in my whole lifetime, of inter will be 18 years, right? In 18 years, I never met a person who was earning more than 50,000 per month, right? When I heard it, I was like, no, this seems like the right thing, and I even remember my mom and my dad, even my brother scolded me because I opted for computers. Um, but I was like somehow confident that hey man, I can learn anything. Okay, and to be honest, I first had laptop in my second year of engineering, and the first time I coded is in first year second semester, which is C.
Okay.
Yeah, but not really. I would suggest anybody to follow through this, but I followed money to be honest.
Can you share a bit about your college journey? Any fun memories and you found of around the campuses?
See, it's too much fun. To be honest, I don't like if anybody is learning anything from this session, I don't want it to be from this particular uh, question. Okay. Uh, See, I was pretty much an outside guy. Okay, and our faculty HOD was like at that time CSC HOD. I think he's right now dean of administration or something.
Krishna Subbarao,
Um,
sir.
Krishna Subbarao sir,
Yes, sir.
right?
He's
He
a
was
dean
our
of
HOD
student.
when I was
Yes, sir.
yeah, he was HOD when I was studying in at that time, and he used to support students too much, right? And that's
Yes,
one of
sir.
the main reason we used to do too many extracurricular activities. We used to host events, we used to do freshers, we used to do many things. But anyways, one of the incident that I still remember was there was 3-2 or something. Okay, I think 3-1. um, my ma'am told me that if you like, okay, it's a mid one exams. Okay, she came with the papers and she corrected only the first paper, like the first side of it, and she gave 6 marks. And she said my marks are 6 only. I took the paper, then I went there. I was like, ma'am, why did you correct only the first paper? You didn't correct the rest all. Then she said, okay, you come to class from tomorrow. At the end of the year, I'll correct the paper again and I'll give you the marks, right? I was like, okay, I will come to the class. But from the very next class, I didn't go. And I remember that part very clearly, but vaguely I remember that I didn't attended any more classes of her after that. Like very few I attended. Um, and she left only 6 marks. Okay. If
Okay.
you go in my complete college career, that's like my least marks, right? Six was like in mid one. And we have an average system. I'm not sure how is it right now for you guys. Uh,
There's also an average system right now, sir.
Ah, but in few colleges it's like a best of two, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
we didn't have that option, so it's
Yes.
like 6 plus. I think other time I got like some 28 or something. So she just did that by two, and I got only that many marks. And but I decided when I joined college only, I decided that I don't want more than 80%, and I just want that bar to be above 80. And I calculated so that 6 marks are not affecting my bar, so I just left it like that. But I think that's one of the crazy memory I had, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Only I didn't get impacted by that, but yeah, it's not something I want many people to learn from it.
Yes.
But
Sir.
I think in this story, the only interesting thing for me, I mean, just give me a second on this, right?
Yes, sir.
The
Yes.
only interesting thing for me was more about what I believed is right. See, rather than when society tells you something is right versus what you believe something is right, right?
Yes.
I was mainly on that side, and somehow I was pretty convinced. Actually, it's computer networks, and I was learning networks from my 1-2. I think one like 2-1, right? And I was pretty confident that what's being taught in the syllabus is much more basics, which I've already covered. So I was very much interested on learning something higher than that, right? And somehow I believed in that, and I used to spend lot. See, when I say I was roaming outside, yes, for curricular activities, but sometimes I used to sit in digital library also.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's there even now, but there used to be a digital library in
Yes.
second floor of our library
Yes, sir. It
session,
is
and
also there now. The digital library is
but the internet used to be pretty sloppy there. It doesn't even open a website,
like
and
it is actually better now, sir. It is refurbished and
okay,
everything is good.
that's good to hear, man. Like at that time, I remember it was too sloppy, and uh, I used to like take like I think 10 seconds or something to load one page, and I used to do offline downloads so that I can read it at my own pace, right?
Yes.
But yes, I used to mix up. I used to have fun, and I used to read. But whenever I go to class, whenever I listen somebody saying something, right, I used to try to understand it. Uh, and in exams, I pretty much used to like get, I think 26, 27 on an average. So I think my fun didn't impacted so much of my curricular. The extracurricular didn't impact so much of my curricular, right? So I was pretty much okay by that. So yeah, I think that's something you can learn if you want to learn something about this particular incident.
Yes. Sir, during our conversations, you mentioned that you being a Ratchet type from Three Idiots, questioning everything. Like, can you share a moment from your college days that reflects this mindset? Any one particular moment on extracurricular side and the curricular side? Give one each.
Extracurricular, I might not have. It's too much, pretty much defined properly. Extracurricular activities are pretty much, I think very well structured, right? But I think regarding curricular, I think there was this one class in chemistry. I think it's 1, 2 or something.
Yes, sir. It's one, two. Sir, your video is.
Yeah, just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Okay. Sir is having a power issue. Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, guys. Sir will be joining again. So sir is having the power issue.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, is it better now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
So
sir.
sorry, man. It's okay.
Okay.
Uh, I think question was regarding this Rancho moment, right?
Yes.
Again, it's not a very good one, but it's much more relative. There was this chemistry class in our 1-1, I guess. Yeah, it's 1-1, right? And there was some question I can't recall exactly. It's regarding covalent bond versus some other bond. I was asking some pretty like very basic question, but the faculty didn't like what I was asking, and he said like, if you're not interested in engineering, go out. Then I just walked out of my room. I walked out of the class at that time because I was like, I just joined engineering. I was too much inspired, and I was like, okay, I want to learn too much about computers. I want to earn too much of money, right? Um, yeah, but it's not. I don't recall exactly that scenario because I forgot it. But it was something similar. Like it's related to some covalent bonds and all. Yeah. Other than that, I think I was not pretty much of a class guy. But yeah, they were. I'm not sure this is a good thing to say. Yeah, there were some stories, man. Maybe I can tell if it's not too much. But yeah,
Okay, sir.
it involves
Sir,
family and also
yes.
not a good story. Go on.
So this is a fun question, fun kind of question, sir. Like besides Rachu, is there any other fictional character you can relate to?
Hmm. No, man. I'm not pretty much, huh? Okay. I never thought of it actually.
Okay.
But I like games, so maybe some animes. I don't watch much, but there was one guy I forgot his name. Nepo something. He's a
Okay.
boxer in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you always like during our conversations and our interactions, you always mentioned that you have a conventional method of questioning, like oh, what is this, and through questioning you learn something. Sir, what advice
Right.
would you give students to find themselves questioning conventional methods or ideas? See, like there are certain moments that this has to be done in this way only. Like
Right.
everyone will say that, but we need to question something to understand, to improve our understanding. So, what advice would you give
Right.
students who find themselves
Yeah.
questioning conventional methods or ideas?
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'll go by an example on this, right? See, you're walking right now, okay,
Okay.
and you're pretty convinced that your legs were given for walking only,
Okay.
okay. And I'm sure none of us would have ever questioned his legs were given for any other purpose other than walking, right? Because we're pretty much convinced that okay, legs are for walking only, right? And if I ask you the question why, right? You can't explain other than simply saying that I felt it. Like other than you can say something like, oh yeah, I feel it's correct. I feel it's fundamentally that oh legs are for walking only, right?
Yes, sir.
So just draw a parallel to some other concept in computers or in ECE or EEE, right? When somebody tells you something, there is something called absolute truth, right? You just hear it and you know it's truth, right? Again, the question is that how do you know something is truth when somebody says, "Hey, transistors are for this only," right? Or um, diodes are made like this. Semiconductors are built by combining two molecules, something of that sort, right? Then you will say, okay, yeah, this is absolutely truth, right? But how do you know that something is absolutely truth when you know fundamentals very very properly? Okay. See,
Yes.
as a human, you know about fundamentals of yourself, at least to some extent, right? Okay, eyes are for seeing.
Yes.
Okay, hands are for like taking things, eating, feeding, or scratching, whatever it is, right? Or washing, right? Legs are for moving me, right? Mouth such that I can communicate, is ear such that I can hear from somebody else, right? Hair maybe protect sun from my brain, right? See, some things I know about fundamentally about myself, right? So then what happened is I won't question these things. Maybe I can question if I'm free. I want to understand more about these also. Maybe I'll question, right? But usually what happens is the problem with questioning is sometimes you won't move any further in life. See, you just sit down and start questioning everything, right? Okay, why there is a government? Why do you have to vote? Why there is a hurricane right now in Vizag, right? Why is it raining? If you start asking everything, if you're questioning everything, right, the problem is you are not going to find any answers because you're too much interested in asking questions, right?
Questions. Yes.
See, asking question is not, when I say ask questions, right, or don't go by conventional methods, the intention is to learn. The intention is to not to prove to everybody else that, hey, I am intelligent because I'm asking questions, right? I am special because I'm not just following orders, right? See, that's not the intention. The intention is purely about how to learn, right? Learning something that other people are not able to see.
Yes.
Okay. See, there were very pretty much interesting stories about Einstein's relativity theory. I would suggest all of you to just go, maybe spend 5 to 10 minutes on that some animation like of how Einstein actually thought about relativity. Right, there are some pretty much good videos. Right, and there is also one interesting video called "Why Blue is Rare in This World." Uh, right. See, when you watch these videos, you just understand that, oh, till now I'm understanding something as an absolute truth is not actually an absolute truth. There is something under it. And I've never opened that book, right? Okay, why didn't you open? Because you don't know fundamentals properly. Again, I'll just stop that conversation there. But just to jump on to just a steps kind of building up this attitude, right? The very first thing is you should make sure your fundamentals are too proper. Okay,
Yeah.
don't worry about running fast. Okay, this is not a very good story I would tell to people, but sometimes I have to tell it just to show that, okay, walking slow is also good, right? When I first interned at Juspay, when I got converted from my internship to full time, right, I was offered the least among everybody else.
No.
Okay, because there is an interesting story. Maybe it might open up in the next questions, right? I got offered the very least. Okay, and
Yes.
right now my salary is one of the top 1% of Juspay.
Okay.
Okay, so I walked very slowly. Why? Because I was too much interested in fundamentals. I wanted to understand right now how is this communication is happening.
Okay.
How come a pixel of pink is coming to you? How come a pixel of black that you're wearing is coming to my eyes, right?
Yes.
How is it stored? How much of bytes is gonna take, right? What is my current speed such that at what rate you can hear me, right? If
Okay.
anybody is interested, I'm too much interested in talking like that, right? But yes, I was too much interested in these things for one complete year. I blacked out everybody in my life, and all I was doing was this, right?
Okay.
And suddenly everything was falling in place. When somebody is asking a question, I know the answer, even without ever reading about why rain happens, right? I might be reading about, let's say, photosynthesis. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but I was reading at that fundamentals level. When somebody is coming and asking me why rain happens, right, I kind of know the answer upfront.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened to me, right? So my first step, my first suggestion for anybody is like, make sure your fundamentals are too strong, not even just strong. Okay, they have to be too strong, right? See, once your fundamentals are too strong, right, all you have to do is see patterns everywhere in the world. Okay, see, photosynthesis, how photosynthesis is equivalent to rain, right? Somebody might feel that, right?
Yes.
But to be honest, like it's just that, okay, sun is coming and hitting a leaf, right? Whereas a cloud is getting formed and the cloud condenses and the rain falls down to the earth, right?
Yes, sir.
They might be same. They might be same. Okay, if you're not able to see, that means your fundamentals are not that level. That's it, right? There is this one book called One Thing.
One
Okay,
thing.
what it says, what it talks about is how in the world, right? Everything is only one thing. It's just that you're not yet capable to see it.
Okay.
I might talk a little philosophical. Don't consider me as a religious person, but I like every religion. But I like one concept in Hindu Dharma, which is Advaita Vedanta. Okay, in that they say Aham Brahmasmi.
Yes, sir.
That means I am also God. Aham, like everybody is me only. I am
Everybody
everybody,
is.
right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
See, if you see, exactly that's what I'm also saying. I'm saying, see, everything is one only. It's just that You has to be that much intelligent to see it. And how can you get that much intelligent? Again, come back to
Fundamentals
step
has to
one.
be strong. Yes.
Yes. Make sure your fundamentals are so strong. Second one is you can start seeing patterns everywhere, right? See, then you're not worried whether you are from ECE, whether you are from IEEE, whether you are from Mac, whether you're not even a BTech engineer, right? It doesn't
Yes.
matter, right? You can create wonders in this world,
Yes.
right? See, once you have these two things very, very solid with you, right? Again, that actual question of yours, you can start, you will start questioning everything. Why? Because your fundamentals are too strong. Somebody can't just come to you and say, uh, hey, you have to walk straight only, right? Then you'll start asking questions. Why straight is a displacement, but why going other way is not a displacement, right? What if it's a curve space? Then straight is not the right option. Curve is the right option, right?
Right.
An aeroplane is supposed to travel curve in Earth such that it can reach some destination
Destination.
faster than a
Yes.
straight line, right? You would only know. See, the people who have solved these problems are also exactly the same kind of people who started questioning conventional methods. Again, it's not a random questioning. It is not to prove that you're better than everybody else. It is not to prove that, oh, I am thinking something special than all these people, right? It's always about get your fundamentals right, see patterns everywhere, then all of these will start opening up for you. But I say also, I'm gonna end up this question with one small PS here, right? The note, the note is this is never gonna happen. Okay, don't take me in a wrong way. It didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to the people that I know who are like much intelligent than me. But it's a process, right? Everybody's getting better day by day, and you should get better day by day, right. And see, I again, it's not to bargain, or it's not to again talk something high of myself, but I stayed in one company. Okay, I left a company for 2 weeks, 2 months, but I stayed in one company. All my growth happened with the company. See, because I know right now I can earn something 30% more than here by just switching to another company also. So don't let salary define people also. Okay, I'll suggest that one more thing, because you guys are entering into that industry world maybe next year or one more year, right? Don't
Yes.
let salary define. There can be a guy who is earning 1 crore but he's not as intelligent as you guys. Okay, but if you can make your fundamentals strong, and if you can start seeing patterns everywhere, right? I'm being honest, the whole world is gonna be like waiting for you in the real life also. It's not only industry. There you earn money, here also you can actually learn too much. Like you can start seeing some magics. Okay, but again, this is a feeling, man. It's hard to explain also, so bear with me if I'm saying something too philosophical also. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sir, as far as my thinking, so I would consider my BTech years as a space for growth, for be it a character or be it a personality, like be it anything, like the experiences we get, the lows and highs we get. So that is all I consider, sir. Like, can you share any memorable projects kind of or achievements kind of during your college days that shaped your career or that made you think, okay, this is my initial turning point or this is something I have to start?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I have one particularly incident happened for me. It's 2-1. I had some personal tragedy. Okay. At that time, I picked up hacking. Okay.
Okay.
I was one of the early Indian guys who were like very much into hacking. We used to have this random chats like with crazy people all over the world. It's not open; it's dark web. I used to use Tor and all at that time. I'm again some of these tech words. I'm not sure everybody. I can explain it in that simple level. But I used to do recharges for my parents for free. We used to order goods. We used to buy servers in US, and we used to use those servers to do something else, right? We used to do
Okay.
jump access. Yeah, we used to do like jump to a Tor network and then access the dark web. But we know it all can be traced back because we again, how I know that I can get traced back is just because I know fundamentals properly, and that's why I was very much good at networking at networks at that time. I think that's one of the early things that I have done in my life, which kind of paved a path of how I should start learning. Why?
Okay.
Because see, hacking is a if you think in a way, it is a very fancy word, but it's actually illegal in sense, right?
Yes. Yes.
Unless you're on the white side. But even though it's an illegal in that sense, right? What it opened up in my brain was like how I felt when I was first doing it was like powerful. Okay, but the
Yeah.
very instinct that came to my mind was, okay, man, how can somebody track me back, right? See, that's when I started understanding how does an internet work,
Okay.
right? That's when I started understanding how does a IP tracing works, right? That's how I know exactly right now what happens when we are talking between each other.
Yes.
How does these packets are getting transferred? Also, I know just because of that reason, right? Right now, it's in WebSocket between you and me, but at that time, it's much more like I was understanding how does even a packet move from my router to ISP, how ISP routes it. Can I add something of my own such that I can fake an IP address?
Okay.
All these ideas, right? I used to bring these computer problems into real world problems. Okay, I used to think like, okay, I'm sitting in a big bazaar right now. Okay, at that time, big bazaar used to be a big thing in just Vizag, right?
Yes.
I'm at big bazaar, right? And I used to think like, okay, how can I take something without any camera recognizing me, right?
Okay.
Can I tell somebody to tell somebody else to tell somebody else that to tell somebody else that go and get it for me, right? Then
Okay.
what happens is like, yeah, if somebody's pointing at that, if somebody's looking at that particular place, right,
Yes.
randomly somebody else is picking it up. Maybe he's an employee of Big Bazaar, right?
Yes, sir.
So nobody will know. So I used to think like that. So I think doing hacking in my early years was kind of uh, paved a path of how I should learn. Also, I was learning not to get caught, but
Okay.
that's when I started learning principles. I started learning the fundamentals, and suddenly it hit me that yaar, I'm able to understand anything else. And somebody in my class, they were talking about compiler design, and I was just understanding it without even thinking. See, there is this one moment I'm sure you all might have, or you might have in future, right? Is that when somebody's talking to you without even thinking, right, you will understand what the other person is saying,
Yes.
right? Then you know that concept you are also very good at. You know that, oh yeah, I'm very good at this concept because I don't have to think for somebody else to tell me, for me to understand what somebody else is telling to you, right?
Yes.
That's when I realized, oh man, this is a very interesting thing and nobody's talking. In my whole class, everybody's interested in earning money, everybody's interested in like doing GRE. I'm sure you also might have friends who are like very much interested in going abroad and all, right? But somehow none of this interested me, and the only thing interested me was like fundamentals, and I was like stick to it.
Sir, like in the internet or in the YouTube or Instagram, what is the social media we have? So we see many kinds of things like a daily routine or a day throughout. Sir, can you share what is your typical day as a software engineer in Bangalore? Like Bangalore is a city of tech and everything. So like,
Yeah,
can you just in few words, in your words, can you go through us?
yeah. See, we usually wake up pretty late, man. Okay, so just assume the day starts after 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Okay, then the very first thing I do is like I'll just open up my Slack just to see anybody pinged me, right? Um, I just reply back to the people, then get ready, have food, go to office. We have food at office also. It's a choice where you want to eat, right? Then you go to office. There'll be too many meetings set up because currently I'm like into more of a research and leading some of the teams, right? It's too much of meetings, so I'll make sure all the meetings are like properly done. Then we'll also have a small team meetings just to see, okay, what can be done next year. Any new thing comes up, right? Like small meetups to uh, share some share some knowledge here and there. Um, yeah, just make sure there are no production issues. If there is a production issue, you just have to jump on, understand what's the issue, come up with two solutions. One is right now what can be done. Second one is how do we make sure this never happens again, right? So two track starts. I usually get involved in the second one, how to make that this never happens. Um, uh, we have a very pretty interesting way of solving this problem. You all know compiler errors, right?
Yes, sir.
When you write something that's not language supports, it gets compiled error,
Compile.
right?
Yeah.
In our code base right now in Juspay, that compiler errors are actually Juspay defined compiler errors.
Okay.
If Juspay says, hey, you can't write code like this, it's not language is not saying. Language you can write. In general, language supports it, okay? But Juspay can say, you can't write code like this, right? Then
Okay.
what happens is our compiler will throw compile time error. As in, you understand? You can't do addition in our Juspay code base. Let's say that's a rule. Okay.
Okay.
Plus A plus B. You can't do A plus B in our whole code base, which is by default language supports it. You have no issue. You can go
Yes.
to you can use your own compiler, your own GHC compiler, and you can do it, right? But when you come into Juspay, if there is a rule written like that, right, compiler will throw compile time error.
Wow.
See, that's our way of fixing it. See, I like this. There are like many interesting projects that I personally lead. lead through, and you can find some of these in GitHub of Juspay. Maybe let me see if I can find this one thing just to give some like interesting thing for you guys. Okay, it's not Sheriff. It's called what? Plugins are called what? Spider. Oh yeah. I'm gonna drop it in this chat box and just let me know if it is not public. I can't do. Yeah, it's public, so anybody can access it. Um, anyways, yeah. I get involved in this problem where how to make sure that this never happens for the next time. So I majorly work on building frameworks, and I majorly work on architecture. I basically majorly work on reliability and scalability problems in Juspay. Yeah, but usually I sleep around 2 o'clock, so this last 5 hours cover all these things that I work on.
Okay. Sir, in your first meeting with Vimal, while we are having interactions, you have mentioned your CEO, Vimal Kumar. So, in your first meeting with Vimal as an intern, like where he's comparing app building to pipelines,
Correct.
right? So, was a turning point. Like, what specific realizations or steps did you take after that interaction? Like you have told me, but for our participants and also, can you please mention?
Yeah. See, I think again it falls back to what I was talking till now, right? All I understood was he was talking something I know because he was able to draw parallels, right? App is something that I know, okay, and the pipes is something I know, like write code like line by line, right?
Yes.
But somehow I'm not able to understand what he's talking. That means my fundamentals are not good,
Okay.
right? Again, it falls back to something else I'm talking till now, right? So then all I did was I just realized that okay, my fundamentals has to be strong, and then I spent all of my time on went and understood the fundamentals. See, I didn't work on apps just because Vimal was talking about apps at that time, and I didn't work on this pipes model that he was talking about also. I didn't spend time on any of these two. Why? Because I know if I would have focused only on these two, right, my learning would be only in that circle. Okay. But I made sure that I focus on basics, right? Just because I made sure my focus is mainly on basics, right? I was able to cover a bigger bubble.
Okay.
After this pipes problem, right? He was talking something else, and I was like right away able to jump onto it. Right. So I was now I'm just making sure my bubble gets bigger and bigger. Now I'm also learning ML. Like in the last 1.5 years, we are doing a lot of ML stuff and all, right? Again,
Yes,
I'm able to jump much faster because my bubble is already bigger than what Juspay is working at, right?
Okay.
Again, why I'm saying that is because if somebody is coming and telling you, hey, there is this way to write code, right? If you're focusing on only understanding that, right, then you are waiting for somebody else to come. There is something above than that, right? But when somebody coming and telling you something, and if you're not able to understand, my suggestion is just try to understand at what level of basics you have to learn such that you could understand this concept. Okay. Right? So when somebody is coming and telling you something, let's say this is your what do you say, your basics, understand fundamentals, right? And somebody is telling you something and you're not able to understand, right? Sure, understand it, like spend some time on understanding it, but make sure your fundamentals also get better such that you could understand this, right? And remember that you have to go up such that something else in the top also you can able to understand, or you can think yourself, right? Maybe you can build a completely new way of LLM only if your fundamentals are too strong on it, right? You should know. Otherwise, you'll just become a user, man. See, I never liked being a user, to be honest. If you really want to be a software engineer, you should make things. If you really want to make things, you should be that much you should be that much
passionate and
passionate, knowledgeable, and all, right? Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah.
That was very interesting, sir. Sir, like you said that you have spent an year giving up all the distractions, like keeping up the social media, and you are just throwing away the phone you have. Like you just keep avoiding the phone you have. Like, sir, in today's lots of distracted society and lots of distracted times, as students in academics, also in the college time, also we are very much distracted. As you know,
That's true.
as a student, they are as an individual, they are very much distracted to everything. Like can you just suggest some strategies or
Yeah.
resources you use during your non-distraction time so that every student can focus on their goal without distracting, and they can utilize much of their time in learning continuously?
Yeah. See, I am even yeah. After that, I'm a very much a phone user. Okay, I use phone all the time. But just remember this: I use Instagram, I use YouTube, and I use Twitter. Okay. WhatsApp, yeah, because people text you there, right? But
Yes.
I only suggest these three. Why? Because in Instagram, you can still follow some channels along with whatever you're scrolling in your timeline, right? See, have fun, man. See, life is all about having fun only. Okay. Don't skip that. Don't skip that for money or don't skip that for anything in the world, right? You have fun, but as you are having fun, right, just make sure one thing pops up in the middle. Just read it. 2 seconds only. No, you're anyway
Yes, sir.
scrolling, right?
Yes.
Go to reels, just scroll through. See, I go to reels right now. Out of 3 reels, I get one tech reel, right? I'm happy because 75% I'm having fun and 25% I'm learning, right? Go
Yes.
to YouTube. Go to YouTube, you get that list, right? I'm talking about
Thumbnails.
laptop at the
Yes,
moment,
sir.
right? Thumbnails,
Recommendations.
right? My first thumbnail will be all the Telugu movie songs and all, right? Second thumbnail will be too much of chess, NFL, NBL. I watch all the games in the world, okay?
Okay.
People don't even know about these games, but I still watch those kind of games, right? It's like shitty world games, but real games, like people play Olympic wala games, right? Then the third thing is my tech guy. Fourth thing is my physics. Fifth thing is my maths, right? Sixth thing is my like something else, right? I just watch like let's say 10 YouTube videos, right? I'll make sure 11th YouTube video that I get as a suggestion is a tech one. Okay. YouTube knows that. All you have to do is follow that 3 to 4 times. Then YouTube knows that, oh, you are a kind of person who wants to have fun, and in the middle, you want a tech video. Otherwise, you won't be staying in YouTube for longer time, right?
Yes.
Then YouTube only will suggest you. See, make the app work for you.
Yes.
Don't be a user of an app. I always tell this to my friends also. If somebody comes and tells me, oh, Instagram is a bad thing, why are you using it? I was like, "Arey yaar, then you don't know how to use it. You're being used by the app, right? No, you should be the user. Like, you should make sure that app is working for you.
Yes.
And if you open my Twitter, I have all gossips, right? Whatever happening in industries,
Yes.
whatever happening all over the world, a nuclear war is coming. Everything comes in my Twitter, which is X right now. But also along with that, I get research papers. You know, the moment ChatGPT released it, right? The very next second, I know about ChatGPT through my X only, like X as in Twitter here. That's why I
Yes, sir.
don't use X as a word, right? Through Twitter only, right? The moment it released, like some I was following some AA guy like Lex Friedman or somebody, I don't recall exactly, right? He just posted that because they are the one of the early people who got access to OpenAI, and it got released like 10 minutes later to everybody in the world, right? But I know at that time only. I just went and I just looked at it and I was like, it was pretty good. It was answering whatever I was asking, right? Then I was curious on learning it, but anyways. But along with that, I know about gossips also. See, I am a huge movie fan, right? I'm a huge game fan. I'm a huge cultural fan, right? I read philosophy. I read our history. I read all these things in all these apps only. But along with that, I just make sure that if I'm spending 100% of my time, I make sure 90% is entertainment, 10% is my learning. Again, I'm not suggesting the same to you because I'm already little ahead of you guys. So you just make sure at least you guys make it 50-50, right? Have fun, but also make sure in that only just follow one or two people, man. You just need to follow the right people. They will take you the right places. That's it. You don't have to do anything, man. Like
Thank
I
you, sir.
think, yeah, I think it's one of the. I felt it's one of the pretty good idea that many people wouldn't notice, but
Yes,
I
sir.
would suggest
Absolutely. Like
everyone.
as a in a student perspective, like at a student level, we do not think like this in this way.
Mm.
Like watching reels all the day, but getting like what you said that making the app work for you is
Right.
something very it is a get great notable thing to do, sir. So I'm
Yeah.
sure
I just
everyone
hope
else
you
will
all
follow.
follow. Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll all follow, sir.
Nice.
Sir, like we know, like as you have already shared the strategy of 50-50 ratio or the 75 to 25 ratio, that thing, and you also mentioned that you are a great book lover and you read a lot. Sir, like, can you suggest the students one book? Like, I'll ask you two questions, sir. Like, at student level, one book to cultivate the mindset of continuous learning, like yours, and also at professional level for cultivating the mindset to continuously learn, sir. So,
Okay.
at two
So
levels.
I'm just trying to the first one only. I'm just trying to remember the book name. It's called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox, and a Moose or something. Just let me type. The Horse, the
Is it
Boy.
one book, sir? Like,
It's one book. It's one book. The Fox book. It just contains, yeah, the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse.
okay,
Yeah. If somebody was like able to afford that book, buy a hand copy I'm personally a tech guy, right? So I prefer reading it through laptop only. But this is one book I wanted to get my hands on, right? It's a very small book. Don't expect what do you say, a Bhagavad Gita level of explanation all over of everything happening in the world, right? It's a very simple book. All it talks about is, see, when the future is dark, right? When there is no light, when there is no path that you could see in your life, right? Just remember to take one step. That's it. Okay. Don't worry about your destination. If you can see the next step, right, just take it. Okay. Right now, I'm sure pretty of you might be thinking, right? Okay, 5 years where I will be, will I earn this much of money? Will I make sure my parents are proud of me? Can I make my whole lifestyle of my parents, my family to one layer up, right? See, if you start thinking all these problems, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna go ahead any much further, right? But all you have to see is what is that next one step that you could take, right? And without even following, see, why I'm saying this one particular book is because I was doing that all my life. And when I read the book for the first time, right, I just got goosebumps. Even now, I'm not sure I'm able to show you guys, but I got goosebumps right away because I'm talking about this book, because this exactly proved what I was doing all my life, right? And without even knowing I was doing it. When I was reading this book only, I was just thinking, see, how I'll tell you how, right? When I took computers as my choice in MSET, right, everybody was angry with me. The people that I know, my friends, my parents, my mom even hit me if I recall correctly, but my mom used to hit me too much, so I can't recall when is this. But my father told me one thing. See, I know at least a mechanic who can help you if you're a mechanical engineer, but I don't know even one person who knows how to use computer. So don't expect me to help you when you finish your computer engineering, right? That's what he told me. I still remember. My brother was angry with me because he have too much of expectations on me. He's my elder brother. He was doing civil at that time, but he was too much wanted me to do mechanical. He was angry with me. He didn't spoke me with me for like one week or 2 weeks, right? See, everybody was like literally against my decision. Okay, and on the other side, I don't even know why I took that decision. With now it's okay. It's a right decision. Like, to at least my mom says, "Arey Chinna, at that time we were scolding you, but you took the right decision, right?" But to be honest, I don't know whether it's going to turn out right decision or not, right? It would have turned like it have 50% choice. But all I know is, hey man, I am capable, man. Whatever it is, right? Right now, you come and tell me, hey, you have to become an architect, right? I'm damn sure I'll become an architect, right? I'm confident. I'm confident on doing anything. Why? Because I know that when somebody is coming and telling me something, right, I can separate what is important from it and what is not important from it. Somehow, all my life, I try to learn that one thing only. If somebody is telling me something, I just need to know, is it under my level or is it above my level? When something is under my level, I try to spend less time on it. When something is above my level, I just stop everything in the world and I just start thinking only about it, right? Again, that's one step I took without even knowing what's my decision is, what's my destination is, right? Even with Juspay, exact the same scenario happened. uh, uh, my faculty actually scolded me because I didn't apply for TCS. And I'm sure this club is no more exist in GVP, but there used to be a club called Tech Squad in CSC. um, doesn't exist because it started by me and I was not very much interested in continuing it, so I didn't took any efforts to continue it. But at that time, I used to spend all my time post 320 till 5 or 6 with my freshers, the juniors, to explain these concepts only. I used to talk about all these things in my third year with my freshers, and that's the club actually it's called, right?
Actually started the tech squad, sir.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure nobody knows about it anyways. Yeah. And I used to do this in that. When my faculty came and they was like, okay, did you apply to TCS? I said no. Then they scolded me. They took me to placement lab and they bought me to computer lab, CSC place again, because that's the only place where you can get Wi-Fi. Then I applied it that night, and then very next day I went for TCS. I cracked it though, but I know I can crack it, but I don't want to go. So I thought, oh, somebody else can take that job, right? If I go, they would not take somebody else because they always want that number. They want to take 500 people. Right? They'll just take somebody who wants that job rather than me, right? Even that step also, I don't know why I'm taking. I don't know the future, right? But all I was doing is take them one step next, right? So I would suggest read that book, get hard copy if you can get, right? But once you're in industry, I think maybe once you work for 2 to 3 years in industry, right? I would suggest read little bit of Bhagavad Gita or Mahabharata, right? Don't go deep, don't go via religious way, just go via uh, a political way, just go via understanding way, right? When somebody is saying something with what, see, how can Krishna say that uh, hey, all you has to do is follow dharma, right? How is it that confident that dharma is the one true thing in the world, right? And what you have to learn from that is when you're doing computers or when you're doing anything, right? If you're working on ECE, working on EEE, right? You have to always focus on what is that one thing I have to hold true. So if ever a new problem given to me, right, all I just have to make sure that whether that problem can be aligned with this one truth that I know. See, I know light exists in this world, right? When somebody comes and tells me that, hey, can you build a TV for me, right? I know I can build. Why? Because TV is nothing but emitting light only, and I know light already exists. So my truth is being, see, even without even knowing how a TV works, right? I'm already confident that I can build it. Why? Because my single truth is uh, able to align. My problem that was given to me was aligning with what is that one true thing that I learned in this world, right? So I see some of these things will open up for you as you get matured, as you're working in industry and all. I don't want to open too much of that, but I would suggest like some of these books can really help you.
Yes. Uh, yes, sir. Sir, like you mentioned that in your initial internship at Juspay, and you had a conversation with Vimal sir, and everything happened, and you took a 1 year to deep learn. I mean, learn deeply, strong your fundamentals. Like, how did your initial internship experience, like at Juspay, like you have a perspective at BTech level, sir, on software engineering
Right.
and problem solving. Like, how did your initial internship experience at Juspay shape your perspective on software engineering and problem solving?
Yeah. See, the interesting thing is actually at the interview only this started for me. Okay.
Okay.
When I went for the interview, the final interview, right? I just and the very interesting thing that I noticed as I entered to that room, the very big room, was already interviews were started. I was supposed to reach there by 8, but I went by 9:30 or 10. I was already late. I just went and I saw one guy is moving between 3 rooms, and he's doing interview for all those three folks at the same time.
Okay.
And he's running through 3 rooms. Okay. And my turn came. I just went and sat in one of the room. The very first question he asked me was like, "What interests you?" As you asked it, right? And I said, "Computer networks." Very interesting thing for me. And his very first question was, "Okay, tell me, explain me how does an internet works?" Right? And I was like, "Man, very interesting question, right?" And I was like, I just started explaining everything with packet, with bytes, with bits. I was explaining everything, and he was like too much liked it because he also didn't expect an answer, something of that sort, right? Then he simply said, "Yeah, good man, done." Then I came out, and what happened was like they just came and announced 7 people's name, as I said. I think six folks' name. And as we are walking, as we all are walking out, right? The last point where we are taking a pivot, they are going towards their car, and we are going towards autos, right? It's in Vignan College. The one thing that he told me was, "Hey man, I'm waiting for you to come to Juspay. We will do some wonders, right?"
Okay.
And from that moment, it was like it started hitting me, and I was like, "Arey yaar, okay, these people are already talking some high stuff." Okay. And yes, when I went into Juspay, I was like, they already decided that okay, I should start working on frameworks and all. Okay. So everybody got assigned to work except me.
Okay.
Okay. And all I was getting is these big interactions to set high bars for me, right? And suddenly Paul got fever. The person who interviewed me got fever, typhoid or something, and he was not available for 2 to 3 months. Okay.
Okay.
And there is nobody else to groom me or even to talk to me. Vimal is also busy with BHIM, and all these things are happening at that time, right? So I was pulled into some small dummy project. It's not very big project. It's just a you all know JavaScript. Like I'm just writing some bunch of JavaScript scripts only. Okay, that's it. That's all my internship was, right?
Okay.
And as I told, because it's very small piece that I was contributing to Juspay, I got offered the least amount in a range. See, at that time it used to be like that. When they used to take you to internship, right? They used to say, "Hey, this will be the range of your salary."
Okay.
And at that time, it was 6.5 to 8 was our range. Okay. And I was offered 6.5 at that time.
Okay.
Okay. And I felt very bad, to be honest. I was like, "Arey yaar, I may not feel worthy." Right. But yeah, but at that time, uh, yeah, then Beam opened up. Um, I was also went into too much of basics. Then I given a chance to work on Beam. That chance is also a little bit of luck only. So if you ask me, don't expect if you worked hard means you will get win. Okay, there is a luck factor for sure. But it happens, man. Don't see, even if it's not success, right? It's okay. You define your own success. Don't worry too much. Yeah.
Sir, like Juspay emphasizes the quote like I have to mention this: opening the door for creativity and closing the door for standards. Like, can
Yeah.
you elaborate on how this philosophy is applied in your day-to-day work, sir?
Yeah. This is equivalent to what I was telling earlier, right? When we used to get production issue, even now if there is a production issue, right, we always have two tracks. One track is how to fix it very, very fast, right? And second track is how can we make sure, how can we build a framework such a way that people can't make these mistakes. Okay. See, now um, you can be a monarchy. Okay. You can be one big dictator who can go and simply say, hey, don't do these things, man, because if you do these things, no, world wars will happen, right? Or something can break. Okay. Then the problem is nobody will get creative, right? Everybody will simply walk.
Yes, sir.
Right. But on the other side, if you give too much of freedom, just tell that, hey man, you do whatever you want. Let a production issue come. We'll pay some money to our people, and we'll simply like burn money, right? Then yes, definitely creativity is too much. Many people are involving creativity and all, right? But the bigger problem is, your creativity got too high, but your standards are going low, because many people are thinking in many ways, and nobody can really able to set that what is that high bar, right? Everybody is creative, right? And nobody would be interested in accepting other person's creativity, right? So the problem is that either you can be too creative, right, or you can put up two standards, like you can put up standards or you can be too creative, right? So what happens is whenever we get a production issue, all we make sure was, hey, how can we build a framework in such a way that it still opens up the door for creativity. That means people can still do some creative stuff, right? But at the same time, they can't be too creative also. Why? Because if they're too creative, they are going to make mistakes and we will have downtime. See, right now, I think India powers up almost 35%. In India, we power up almost 35% of any kind of payment that you're doing, right? So just assume if you are down for 1 minute, right? In 100 people, 35 people can't do transactions. Okay. And this bar is not small. Okay, it might look small. 35 people only are getting impacted out of 100 people, right? But you know India's strength. India is 100 billion, like 140 billion people, right?
Yes, sir.
In that, if 35% of people are not able to do transactions, then it's a big thing. The whole India's economy is gonna stop for a second. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And handle IRCTC traffic. When you do this IRCTC Tatkal payments, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If Juspay screws up, you can't do transaction. Okay. And we used to handle TTD booking also. Okay. Later, some what do you call that, BIPS issue, that payment issue happened, and okay, product didn't work. How much we expect versus how much TTD willing to pay as a money, right, for the transactions. We couldn't proceed further, but we handled the traffic for I think 1 month or 1.5 months, right? And this Dream 11 and all these things.
Yes, these are betting app, I think.
Yeah, these are all fantasy apps, right? During IPL, the very, very interesting matches, our traffic goes crazy. Okay. And all the gaming apps uses Juspay in payments. You take any gaming app, they all use Juspay, even Rummy Circle, all these folks. But I'm talking about the scale guys, right?
Yes.
So at any point of time, if Juspay is down, right, a crazy amount of economy is going to stop. Okay. But yeah, everybody will have a switch. They can switch to somebody else in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But yes, it can still impact, right? See, if this is the scale you're working, okay. And to be honest, Juspay, I think Juspay hired, I think mostly 5 to 10 experienced folks till now in their complete 12 years journey of Juspay.
Okay.
They never hire experienced folks. They always look for
astonishing, sir.
Right? We never hired. We hired only I think 10 folks. That too, friends of Vimal, friends of some senior folk. Right? Nobody that doesn't know the core values of Juspay and experienced has ever joined Juspay, because we never offer to those folks. Right? We always offer to freshers. Okay, and that's again an interesting thing, because the experienced people usually comes up with their own thought process. Okay, and they're not willing to take risks. Right? But see, if you're not willing to take risks, right, then again, it's a standardization. You can't be creative. So this is also one more example of Juspay being following this concept of open the doors and close the doors. We close the doors for experienced people and we open the doors for freshers.
Yes.
All the time, every day in Juspay, hiring is happening. Every day in Juspay, and mainly for freshers.
Like, but I did not understand that, sir. Just if Juspay is down, the Indian economy could be shifted. Like Indian economy can affect. But
Right.
how Juspay foster creativity while maintaining that high standards, like maintaining the high standards and maintaining fostering the creativity is very much different thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. See, I think it's one of the biggest problem. Okay, and it's not an easy solution that we come up with, right? And I just shared one link. If you like, anybody is interested in opening that also, I think I already shared with you, right? If you can go and see, there is an example code in that. If you just go little below, and there is something called code snippet, right? That is something which is currently like, that's exactly how the code is written in Juspay right now.
Yes,
so you just
I also
right?
have seen what the conference on Vimal sir, so this demonstration in the YouTube also. That was
Correct.
very interesting about the functional programming.
Yeah.
Sir, could you give an insight about functional programming and at JSPL, and how could something as critical as UPI can be handled at JSPL using functional programming? Can you
Yeah, exactly. See, this follows up with your previous question also, right?
Yes,
How
sir,
did
yes,
we
sir.
ensure creativity and everything?
Yes,
It's
sir.
through some of these decisions that we made, and one of them is functional programming.
Okay.
See, functional programming is simply this, man. Okay, you have Pythagorean theorem, okay, and there is a solid proof for it. You go anywhere in the universe, you are confident that Pythagorean theorem is going to work, right? And like, you have some of these theorems which you can go anywhere in the universe, and that theorem is going to be standard, right?
Yes, sir.
The same thing is this. Okay, in functional programming, what we say is, when you write code, okay, that code is like a theorem, okay, and
Yes.
what compiler does in functional programming is it tries to prove that code.
Okay.
Okay, and when you once your code is proven by compiler, which is nothing but build being successful, right?
Yes, sir.
See, that code can work anywhere.
Yes.
Okay, and you don't have to worry. So we have this very weird principle that says, if your code compiles, you can push it to production. You don't even have to test it.
In functional
Right?
programming.
Yeah, in functional programming, right? See, some of these right decisions that we took and right frameworks that we built using those decisions, right, has made sure that even we are a bunch of freshers, and even we hire college freshers, right, we can achieve a top-notch quality, top-notch standards, and we can even able to handle a traffic of this scale. Yeah.
Sir, I have one question in my mind. Like while I was doing my projects in my BTech period and also my internships and all, so the academia and the industry will have a huge gap. So like what we do at college level with the limited resources and all, so that is very different than working in an industry. Like while you handle UPI, you are a key contributor to BHIM UPI. Sir, UPI, it's India is such a country, like it is itself a complex. It itself has a complex problems and all. So coming to the UPI thing, it has many complex problems and complexities in its way. Like, sir, I'm not able to think like how can you people like Juspay can scale to that level handling all these complexities, and can you share any one or two problems you have got, and you have how in what way you have solved the UPI thing?
Yeah. See, I think see, most of these questions, like, I think post this point, right, most of your questions, my answers might get repeated. Why? Because again, I'll go back to this first principles understanding.
Yes, sir.
Because this exact, see, whatever I preach it till now, if you consider it as a preaching, right, it's not something we didn't follow. It's exactly what we do daily. Hence, I'm able to preach it with much more certainty, right? So how we do is exactly equivalent to that. We follow first principles. We make sure that our first principles are being followed everywhere, right? And whenever we make a decision, it was uh, more of a certainty and less of a, okay, let's see if it will work, right? See, you asked this question, right? At the start of your question, you said college project versus industry project, right?
Yes, sir.
In college project, what most probably you'll do is like, okay, you will be like, okay, you are not sure whether it's going to work or not before you're building it,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
always like, okay, let me build it. Something comes, I'll fix it up, right? Whereas in industry, that's not what we're going to do, right? You have to be certain that what you're building is going to work, right?
Okay.
So for certainty, all you can do is make sure your fundamentals are solid, right? So I'm going to explain one of the product that I personally like. I think innovated was we have a tool called automatic regression testing. Okay, So what it does is it takes a recording of what's happening in the production,
Okay.
okay, and it replays on the new code base. So that means when somebody is making a code change, right, they can be sure after running through ART that they didn't break anything happening in production right now.
Okay.
Why? Because you took what's happening in production. It's like a black box testing, right? You took what's happening in the production, you took those recordings and you replayed it them on the new code base, right? Uh,
Yes.
you understand that? Or
Yes, sir. I get it,
it's
sir.
little.
I understand.
Yeah. So I built this, and why do we need it? Again, some of these reasons, right? Okay, we hire too many freshers. Okay, not everybody is capable of thinking all possible complex scenarios,
Yes.
right? And there is a high level of chance that you might be working in wallet, but you could break card flow,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because see, as you said, right, Indian payments are not very much standardized. You
Yes.
have 10 payment things, and one more guy is going to come up next, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So with this many random dimensions, and we have like too many configs, somebody don't want a transaction to happen if it is less than 10 rupees. Like that, there will be like crazy amount of configs that merchants want, right?
Yes, sir.
Midst of all these things, if you want a person to think that when they make a change, what flow can break, right? To be honest, it's humanly impossible, even for an experienced folk, right?
Okay.
But we are a bunch of freshers only, and we are hiring freshers only. And most probably in Juspay, if you got hired and in a span of 1 month, right,
Okay.
you will directly push code to production. Okay, and
Okay.
how much can you learn in a 1 month such that you can test all the flows, right?
Yes.
So we need a smarter solution. So all we said was we asked questions, right? Again, what is testing? What do we mean by testing, right? We went into fundamentals again, and then all we realized was testing is nothing but making sure what's already working is again working or not, right? Then if you're, how are you sure that how is something is already working, right? Oh, I have tested that. Oh, then why don't you take the same and apply it here, right? Just see if that guy is behaving the same way as before, right? Uh, then we build this tool. See, like this, we have many crazy tools, man. I think some of them are open source in Juspay's GitHub. You can see not everything is open source because of some commercial stuff, right? But a lot of these things are open sourced, right? And I also mentioned about one thing in the middle. I shared one more link, right? It's called Spider. The repo name is Spider.
Yes,
If
sir.
you see that, right, that's also talks about that's also answers your question right now, right? See, we didn't go via if somebody is doing a mistake in production, right? Say, okay, you're a fresher, you just joined, you did some mistake, and that was not caught by our ART also, okay, because it's a logical bug, it's not something of a very simple mistake, right? Then it went to production, we got some issue, some escalations, all these things happened, right? As I said, there are two tracks now. One is how to fix now, so you just go and make a code change so that it gets fixed and you push to production. The second thing is how to make sure this never happens anymore in the world. Like no,
Okay.
like it can't happen in Juspay anymore, right? Even if you're after 10 years also, it can't happen, right? Then
Okay.
we simply said, okay, why can't compiler catch it, right? Then we just went and modified our compiler. Right now we use our custom compiler in Juspay, right?
Okay.
We just went to source code of compiler, we just add some bunch of lines, and we made that a configuration. So now a PM can come and say, hey, I don't want people to write code like this in Juspay, right? He just adds that rule, and compiler will throw compile time error. You can't even compile your code.
Okay.
Right? See, by building these right tools and by building these right frameworks, right, we are able to achieve a scale of random. See, there is also a system side of optimizations also we did. We built something called KV framework and all. I'm sure it will become too much if I start talking about those also, right? But yes, everywhere it's all about building the right tools and building the right frameworks. And to be honest, to build the right tools and right frameworks, you should have a right level of fundamentals understanding, right? For you to have a fundamental understanding, you first need to realize that there are fundamentals that you are not aware of. Then you just spend time on understanding fundamentals, and everything follows through automatically. And I think that's a very simple solution for uh, how Juspay is able to scale this much. Also, there is a one interesting story I used to tell. I forgot actually. I just recalled right now. So, the very first product of Juspay is nothing but, I'm sure every one of you would have done it, right? Have you ever went into that inspect mode of browser and you modified the page of the web
Yes.
browser?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Did that, right? That's the exact first product of Juspay.
Wow.
Okay. We changed the web page such that it looks much more simpler on a phone screen.
Okay.
Because in 2013 and 2011, right, the web pages are actually made for big screens.
Big screens.
They're
Yes.
not made for mobile phones, and nobody has invested in mobile phones at that time. Nobody expected mobile phones to become this a commodity at that time, right?
Yes.
But Juspay believed in it, and Vimal wants to solve this problem. Then Vimal started going to banks, and they used to offer, "Hey, I will do the web page for you. Can you pay me some money?" Right? But no bank is interested in doing it because no banks believed it, right?
Okay.
If the owner of the web page is not telling you, okay, he's not giving you an option to change the web page, then how can you change it, right? So it's a problem that you can't solve, to be honest, right? If you think in a way, the owner is saying you can't change the web page. You are going to another owner, he's also saying you can't change the web page. Then Vimal just sat down and he just remembered that, hey, I can do inspect, right? And he just built a tool, and that's our first product. It's called Godel Safe. Even right now, if you do any payments through Swiggy, Big Basket, Flipkart, right, you would see a small blue color logo rotating. It's not a logo, it's Juspay's logo actually. That loading is actually Juspay's small circle, right? That's the product I'm talking about. It changes the web page, and if you go to net banking, you can actually see it. The web page looks much more neater on the phone, but that's not the official bank web page. It got modified by a simple hack that every one of us know, which is nothing but inspect, modify it, right? Again, if you start thinking about this, right, how can he think about this as a solution, man? I was like, have a very huge crush on him at that moment when I understood that I solved the problem. And I was like, Arey, what kind of person are you? How are you able to think this, right? And then I know, okay, standards are too big, right? I can't go with the small standards. Cool. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, like you have shared us many valuable insights and all, sir. Hello.
Hey, sorry, can you ask the question? I lost it.
Yes, sir. Sir,
What
like
was
you have shared many valuable insights to us. Sir, like for a beginner or for a fresher, be it a first year or second year, who wants to start their career in the software domain. So, what roadmap they have to follow now, so such that they land into good packages and all. Like all student at student concept or student point of view, we all think about LPS packages and all. So, like what they have to do to land in a good, like what they have to follow, what languages as per the industry standards. Also, as I have said, academy and industry are very far behind. But to
right?
bridge that gap, what we have to do?
Yeah. Yeah. See, if you would have asked the same question 2 years back, right, I would have said something completely random. That wouldn't have made sense right now, right? But right now, since you're asking me this question, I would suggest every one of you to learn LLMs, right? Invest in Python right now, because I'm not a fan of Python. I don't write Python at all. If you get a Python code to me, I'll just tear that page off, right? To be honest, I'm a Haskell guy. I'm a core functional programming guy. I wouldn't let anybody to write any other programming language other than Haskell, Rust, PureScript. But yes, as a fresher, if you really want to reach heights, like considering how the world is moving towards, right? See, I'm not sure you guys are convinced or not. I'm pretty much convinced with my understanding of how the world works and how the tech industry works, right? LLMs are going to take away many things, right? And also it's going to open up many new ways of doing stuff, right? So you have to become an LLM engineer, if you ask me, to be honest. All these roles are going to get created, man. Just remember after 5 years that, hey, we had a call one day and that gave us talking about LLM engineer, right? You would see LLM engineers popping up here and there, right? And so I would suggest invest on LLMs, understand LLMs, right? And second thing is invest in Python, because all the ML stuff happens in Python world only. So I would suggest all of you to spend some time on Python ecosystem.
Nowadays also we can see the trend, the technology trend is moving towards LLM and AI in that.
Yep, for sure, man. See, there is this one guy called natural transformation. Natural transformation is who? Combinator, Y Combinator, right?
Y Combinator, yes.
Yeah. If you see their web page of what are the companies that they've invested in the last 1 year, right? All the companies that they invested is AI company.
AI companies.
Okay.
Yes.
And all they do is they give 500K. You just go to them with an idea, right? They'll just give you 500K. Just tell them it's an AI driven idea. They're going to give you $500K dollars. I'm not talking Indian money. Okay. Yes. They'll give you $500K dollars. It's very easy to get funding in this world right now. All you have to do is just make sure you have small idea. Okay. And it's ML idea. People are going to invest too much of money in you. So I would suggest those two. But other than this, the one thing that's never going to go away from your world is course. the fundamentals.
Okay.
See whether LLMs are coming, whether AI is going to take over the world or not, whether whatever is going to happen in this world, right? Just make sure your fundamentals are good. You should know how a computer works. You should know how this video conferencing working. You should know if I press a key right now in my keyboard, right?
Yes, sir.
What's exactly happening?
Okay.
If somebody is from computers explicitly, I'll also suggest know what is concurrency, know what is parallelism, know how virtual memory works, right? Know what is a deadlock. Remember how a deadlock can be handled. Understand paging, understand fragmentations, right? Understand why RAM is faster than hard disk. That is also an easy question if
Yes.
in that sense, right? Because RAM is actually made up of transistors,
Transistor,
hard
hard
disk
disk
is
is
made up
made
of
of
capacitors. We are
capacitors.
talking yesterday about that, right?
Yes.
Then why is one is faster than the other, right? And when somebody is saying, hey, my laptop is 8-core laptop, right? Or since there are ECA folks also here in this, if you open your laptop, it says something called 2.5 gigahertz,
Yes,
3.5
2.4
gigahertz,
gigahertz,
1.7
octa
gigahertz, right?
4.
You all know it's a frequency.
Yes.
You all know it's a frequency, but what frequency it is, nobody, man, to be honest, not many of us know, right? So a lot of things are placed in front of you in your laptop only, but it's just that you're not uh, like, to be honest, that
Recognizing or
motivated to learn all these things, right? But all these are basics, man. When you're not confident on these many basics, right? When trend changes, you have to make sure you learn everything from scratch. Okay. See, to be honest, my transition to ML happened like this. To be honest, like there is nothing again. I don't want to hide it also, right? My transition to ML happened like in a span of a second.
yes.
Why? Because I didn't see LLM as, oh man, something completely new, right? I just already had a very good basic understanding of integration and differentiation. I know how a linear regression works,
Yes.
right? I know what is a gradient descent. Not in that sense. I know what is a chain rule. Dy by dx equal to dy by dt into dt by dx, right? I know what is a chain rule. Then I was like, Arey yaar, what is this A then, right? Like, it's
It's
like,
just mathematics. It's just statistical foundations and all.
correct, right? And I made sure my basics are good.
Yes.
So jumping to LLM was like, to be honest, like this, and we build
It was simple.
crazy products. Uh, you said that there is an AI team also, right? Maybe we'll talk there.
Yes.
I'll talk about some of the products that we built in AI, right?
Surely, sir.
All of that by a person who never liked AI in his life, and just in a span of second, he just switched to AI and he just built all these products. To be honest, so
Yes.
that's that. I think that's one of the interesting thing I want you guys to learn from it is that when your basics are too strong, right? Let the trend completely move away from something else. You know what is core, and you can just switch with the tide. Or you're like a small boat. You're not a big ship, right?
Yes.
Small boat. Let the tide come and take it you in that direction, and you know how to row that boat. See, if you're a ship, no, the problem is that only you're too much focusing on being big, learning about Python versus okay, you learn only basics. You're a small boat. All you know is how to row the boat,
Yes.
right? Let the tide take you. If tide says, hey, man, let's go to
Whatever the
Australia, right?
destination
Just
the
row.
tide takes.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's very simple, to be honest.
Yes.
So whatever the world is going to come towards, for all the freshers, all I'm going to say is focus on basics. But yes, when these big guys are coming, right, like LLM is opening up, have your own perception towards it. Don't see, if I am saying LLM is going to take over the world, right? It's not because the whole world is saying that. It's because I know that it's going to take over the world. Why? Because I understood how LLMs work. I know how computers work. I know what is a programming. I know how to do programming and all, right? So you should have your own level of understanding to say that LLMs are going to take over the world.
Yes.
Don't say just because the world is saying. Okay. Right now, also, if somebody comes and tells me that LLM is taking over the world, right? I don't believe. I believe only because I know it,
Okay.
right? So that's something you also make sure that in the world of fake news, see, you can ask, cryptocurrencies has exactly the same, Bitcoin has exactly the same hype as LLMs right now,
LLMs. Yes.
right? Everybody thought cryptocurrency is going to take over the world, right? But at Juspay didn't invest in cryptocurrency. We are one of the early payments company in India. But did you ever see Juspay being in cryptocurrency? No. Why? Because we understood what is cryptocurrency. We know that it doesn't really have a value. It's all in brain, right? So we couldn't digest for the fact that it's a probability. We are not a probability people. We want certainty, right?
Yes.
Even okay, let's at least have a 90% probability. But they're saying, hey man, if everybody's saying Bitcoin value is $1,000, it's $1,000. If it's not, right? And yeah, we don't know where to invest really in that, right? Whereas rest of UPI and all are, to be honest, even though they are very scalable, right? The product is very simple.
Yes. Like,
Okay.
Sir, from 2013, before joining into the GVP college and to here now working at Juspay, earning more than one CR CTC. Sir, like looking back, is there any specific failure or a challenge that taught you a very valuable lesson?
Yeah, man. My 10th class, I got 497. Okay. I was near a phone. Okay. My mom got the call from somebody. Okay. Being honest, right? My parents were expecting, I don't know, some 570, 580. Because I was that kind of guy. In school, I was reading. I was like, I used
Very
to play.
studious and
But I used to read also.
nerd,
In
nerd kind
half
of.
yearly and this quarterly and all, I used to get like 580s, 570s and all, right? So my parents were like pretty much expecting that. Okay. But I got 497. My brother actually got more than me. He got 519 or something the before year. So they were like, okay, if elder guy got 519, the younger guy reads studies even better than him, so you should get 550 above, right? But I got 497, and my parents were like pretty much angry on me. My mom like bashed me too much. Okay, I had enough food on that day. Um, but my inter second year, right? I'm just gonna jump to 2 years later, right? I got 971. Okay, I got back into my zone, right? At that time, my parents are pretty happy, and I got around 6,000 rank in 2013, and I got into GVP, right? They were pretty much okay by it. Because our college was actually an MSET college. We were not even prepared for IIT, but I also got AEEE rank, some crazy rank. I forgot, but I at least qualified. But my college is not for that. My college is only MSET college, right? But anyways, so the only lesson that I learned when I got 497 and when I got 971, right, is that marks doesn't matter, man. Okay, all it's gonna matter is how much am I really learning, right?
Yes, sir.
See again, right? When I said I somehow jumped onto that this fundamentals of understanding, first principles understanding, right? Even though it looked like a very oh, he might have thinking like this before and suddenly he jumped onto something else, right? It's not really that. It kind of happened through series of all these events in my life, right? If I wouldn't have got 497, if I wouldn't have got bashed, and if I wouldn't have gotten 971 my next 2 years later, right? And me realizing that, oh man, then or now, to be honest, I didn't felt any difference in me. I thought I have same knowledge when I got that many marks. I thought I have same knowledge when I got this many marks. I thought at that time also I prepared exactly the same. Now also I prepared exactly the same. Maybe the invigilator, like the person who is correcting, might be the mistake. I even now think that my 10th marks are less because somebody corrected badly only. It's not because I did properly, right? But then I was like, okay, man, see, it doesn't make any sense. So marks didn't make sense. I told you this actually. When I joined engineering, I decided I don't want more than 80%, right? I don't want to earn 90, 97 and all, right? I want to have fun and I want to learn more because I wanted to spend too much of my time on learning than getting marks. But yes, the society wants marks. Okay, if somebody is hearing that, hey, he got only 35% marks, right? Everybody will simply think that okay, he can't offer anything from you, right? So that's why I also mentioned something in the middle, right? Don't judge somebody by their salary. Also, if somebody earning too much doesn't mean he knows stuff. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I think what lesson can you really learn from here? But again, it falls back to the book that I recommended, right? When the world is dark, when you can't see the path, just take the next step, man. Okay, when I got 10 less marks, my parents even said, okay, from now you have to, we'll buy a buffalo. From today you have to go to village only. Because I'm from village, as I said, right? And my relatives helped. Then I jumped into some college, right? And everything changed from there. So I even think for a second, right? At that time, if somebody, like if my parents would have really bought a buffalo, yeah, maybe I might have 10 buffaloes right now. I think yeah, I think it won't be. But to be honest, I'll be still happy, man. Like whatever I'm smiling right now, I would have smiled exactly the same on that day because yeah, I know whatever I'm doing, I'll just make sure I put my creativity on
Sir,
top of
my next question will not be a very perfect question after this answer from you. Like, sir, let's all forget about this technicality and everything. Like, if you weren't a software engineer, if you weren't a software engineer, what career path would you have chosen, sir? Excluding that
it.
buffalo thing and
Definitely
all.
mechanical, man. Oh, okay, that's my mom's choice, anyways. But yeah, if not a computer guy, I definitely become a mechanical engineer. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, I would have really wanted to be a rocket scientist,
Wow.
maybe an astronomy. I would have picked up astronomy, to be honest.
Okay. Sir, oh, if you were to
Yeah.
give a one-line mantra to students aspiring to contribute like groundbreaking projects like BHIM UPA, what would it be? One-line mantra.
If you don't believe it, don't do it, man.
Okay, sir. That's really
Yeah.
great, sir. Sir, like, what do you see the next big innovation in fintech space, and how can young engineers prepare for it? The next big innovation in fintech space or the tech space.
I yeah. Yeah. See, I think tech is gonna get a little bit saturation at this moment, right? With LLMs coming in way, right? Nobody has really decided a path properly defined yet. Okay. Why? Because everybody is evaluating how LLMs are going to help, right? Nobody has yet decided that. Okay. But
Yes.
in the sense of just because you asked this question, I'm not sure it's too much open at this moment, but you can search something called Finternet. Okay.
Which one,
It
sir?
is one of the product I'm Finternet.
Finternet.
Finternet. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you just type Finternet, right, you would get some crazy amount of research papers also. So right now I am actually working in this along with the people who build Aadhaar, the people who built UPI. Okay. The main goal is okay. This is the next big thing that's going to happen in financial world. Okay, what is that? You can tokenize anything and you can share it with your people.
Wow.
So right now you can send money through UPI, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. But let's say I have one mutual fund, like I have one stock with me, right?
Okay. Okay.
I can tokenize that stock and I can transfer it to you.
Wow.
Okay, I have a land. I can tokenize my land and I can transfer it to you.
Wow.
Okay, that's the core idea of internet, and the goal is not to use only in India. The goal is for a global.
Wow. So that was
So
really
and but
interesting, sir.
yeah, it is, man. I didn't talk about it because it's still early right now. We are doing too much of research. We are building a POC right now with this big folks in India. But we are also looking at a global scale. Right now, UPI is only if you think UPI is big, wait till Finternet is happening. Right, Finternet is going to be crazy amount, and yeah, I'll get one more proud moment to say that hey, I worked in Finternet. I'm one of the early contributor for Finternet.
So that
Yeah,
was really inspiring, sir. Like the kind of work that Juspay does and the kind of contribution you give, that
right.
kind of thinking and those guys do that at Juspay, it was really interesting and inspiring. Sir, one last question, sir. So this with this we'll end up the session after the doubts from the students. Sir, with the rapid advancements in AI, this may be the common question I mean asking, but just I'm asking. So with the rapid advancements in AI and automation, sir, there's a growing concern about this technology potentially consuming traditional jobs. So, what
Right.
is your take on it? And as someone deeply involved in tech, what's your perspective? If the traditional jobs can be replaced, or what it would be, and how do you think professionals and students can prepare to stay relevant in AI-driven future? Yes, you have
Got it.
already answered
See,
this question, but I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to
See, I'll be brutally honest here. Okay, traditional jobs are gonna get impacted. See, it's equivalent to how industrial revolution happened, right? At that time, people used to carry people through bullock carts. People used to use rickshaws, normal rickshaws, and all. When cars and all came, see, just that they took jobs for sure, yes. But yes, it's gonna create too many jobs also,
okay.
right? And those jobs will be driven by AI, right? See, that's why you can be a early folk if you start investing your early career in spending time in AI and LLM world, right? And try to be a better engineer, like try to be an engineer on top of LLM.
Yeah.
Don't be an engineer who uses LLM to do stuff.
Yes, sir.
Be an engineer who builds an LLM, or be an engineer who can fine tune an LLM.
Yes.
Be an engineer who
As you said,
understood the LLM.
we have to make the app to work for us. Like we have to make the LLM to
Correct.
work for us.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's it, man. Make sure that AI is working for you, right?
Yes.
Then see if you're see this is a very interesting thing also. When you say something is working for you, remember you are in control now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Not the other guy. It's your choice now.
Like we
If
are
you
the
don't want it, you
dictatorship. We
don't
are the
want it. But if you want,
monarchy.
you can take. Correct. It is exactly right.
So
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
does this stay with only computer science students or be it any engineering
No,
branch, engineering discipline?
no, man. No. See, if you think it's gonna stop only at the computers, maybe you're wrong. It's gonna go everywhere. Okay, it's gonna reach till a restaurant bartenders. It's going to reach till that point. Okay. You already know this bullet train concept. There was this one restaurant in Vizag. I'm not sure how many people are
Yes,
you
sir.
from
Yes,
Vizag.
yes. I remember, sir. I think it is
Food
near
gets
Elpalam, I think. I don't know.
some area, man. Even I never went, but you know the train carries the
Ah,
food to you, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. But why do you need people? Somebody to take your order, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what if you have a AI recognizing AI sitting there?
Order taking
Sorry, voice
system.
recognizing AI sitting there. All you have to do is, hey man, get me two coffee, right?
Yes.
Then yeah, bullet train will get the coffee. Now you can ask, okay, who's gonna make that coffee, right? Yeah, maybe folks at this moment. But if you watch some of the AI videos, people are training models to cook,
Yes, sir.
models to
We also
fold.
have some kind of machinery in which we put all the items and we just have to select the dish and that will automatically cook inside it. So I've
Correct,
seen
right?
many things.
Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna reach to uh, uh, a people who doesn't even understand AI. Don't think it's going to stop at the people who understand AI, which are software people, right? It's going to reach till the point where people who doesn't even understand AI, it's going to reach. It's exactly equivalent to how cars, right?
Yes, sir.
People used to felt like maybe my father would have felt or my grandfather would have felt, okay, I would never have a use case, or my children or my grandchildren will never have a use case of a car, right? But now everybody owns a car. It's a commodity right now. It's a requirement right now, right?
Yes, yes,
So
sir.
it's exactly going to be that. But if you ask me by when, I am pretty sure I can't say it for sure. Okay. Because it can happen after 10 years or it can happen tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
That's why you have to be prepared, man. That's why see, it's no more a word. See, it's no more a challenge with people who are sitting in your room. It's going to be challenge with a
The world.
system
Yes.
who is learning too much. Yeah. A system who has a knowledge of the world.
World.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can compare it with the world, right? But it's going to be one machine who has a knowledge with the world you're going to compare it against, right? Then you can have two choices. Try to learn more than that system, okay,
Yes.
or learn something that system can't do, right? Which is that fundamentals understanding, which is that seeing patterns,
In patterns.
right? Again, it all falls back to what
Fundamentals.
we
Yes,
have
what we
been
have
talking
discussed
about.
in the starting. Yes, yes, sir. Sir, yes,
Yeah,
yes, you're a
that's it,
person
man.
who is involved in everything, like who have the capability to think about everything. Like I'm having this gut question, sir, in me. Like, what is your take on entrepreneurship? Be it any domain, be it any space or any industry. What is your take in on entrepreneurship, and how does a students who are willing to follow the entrepreneurship as a career, who are willing to start the company, what has to their motto, and can you suggest any something about to them?
Yeah, yeah. See, I pretty much like entrepreneurs, but I personally not a fan of entrepreneur because, uh, okay, I have a personal goal, right? I want to become a lecturer. Okay, by maybe in the next 3 years, next 5 years, I'm not sure when I'm gonna drop off my industrial experience and I come back to in Andhra or Vizag to be precise, right, and join a college and become a lecturer, right? So
Okay.
I never had a reason to focus too much on understanding what is an entrepreneurship, but
Okay.
I did had some discussions here and there, right? Um, few things that I learned was you need to understand people better if you want to be a very good entrepreneur. That's something I learned through some of these people who build big companies.
Okay.
And the second thing is, um, you should make sure the new standards, like currently, since you are gonna build frame entrepreneurs from now, right? I
Yes.
would suggest, see if you really have a valid AI case and try to embed it on the day zero.
Okay.
Okay. See, earlier it used to be like this. You know, Lenskart, right?
Yes.
Lenskart has the 3D model. You
Yes, sir.
can
3D
have
model.
a eyes, right? But if Lenskart is being built today, right, that will be their first feature.
Okay.
Since Lenskart was built many years
Many
back,
years back.
that
It is
feature
an
came
added on feature.
correct. It came way later, right? But if
Yes.
Lenskart is being built today, that will be the first feature because it's very easy with AI. It's very easy with the current innovations, right? So make sure you are up to date with innovation.
Okay.
Okay, you have to offer something that's today. You can't offer yesterday and expect people to be happy because somebody else is going to come and offer tomorrow. So yeah, not even today. You have to offer tomorrow. So you should be a people's person. That means you should know whom, like you should know how to judge people, and you should able to guess people. Second thing is You should be up to date. You should see the future of innovation, right? And third thing is, as I said, that one thing you asked me, right? If you don't believe it, don't do it. Okay. Yeah. Regarding that one liner, and also add one more here, right? Is that if you're ever doing something, right, think like you're doing it for yourself. Don't think like, hey, I am building this app such that, see, when I build UPI, right, I was thinking that only. Hey, how I can send transfer, like, because at that time I'm getting money, but I don't know how to send it to my parents. It
Yes.
used to be a very big process, right? Very hard process. I was like, okay, it has to be that simple. If my mom wanna send money, see, right now my mom does crazy amount of UPI payments, and she was 10th dropped out, right? And she, in lot of features in her phone, she doesn't even know, right? But still, she was able to do UPI, right? That means we solved the problem in a right way,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we
Absolutely.
used to say that in this way. Yeah, it's one liner, right? If you're doing it, do it yourself. Do it for yourself. And if you don't believe it, don't build it at all. Okay. But if you're believing it on it, no, don't think like I'm building it for somebody else. Build it for yourself, because when you are doing something for yourself, right, you always want an absolute best. That's a psychological thing, not even a human thing. It's a psychological thing. It's a bacteria level thing. It's a human bacteria level thing. It's not something you can induce it. It automatically happen. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the end of our interaction, sir. Students, if you
Cool.
have any question, you can ask, sir. I think
Definitely too much to process though. Oh,
I think there are no
yeah.
questions, sir. Sir, once again, very thank you very much for accepting our invitation for IEEE student branch GVPCE and having this interaction with us, sir. Through your interaction, we got to know many things and what Juspay is doing and what your contributions. And we really thank you for what you're doing at Juspay, and we really want to see you do more. And we really congratulate you on doing the very great things like internet and all. So a very big thanks from IEEE student branch GVPC, sir, for attending, for having an interaction with the students.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine, man. And I'll also thank all of the folks who were able to continue, like sit idly, just hear me out, whatever I'm ranting, on all of your questions, right? And I sincerely like it, and like pleasure is all mine, to be
Yes,
honest.
sir. Actually, this is an event. This is a great initiative took by us, sir. So the Alumni Connect, under the Alumni Connect series, we are having interactions with different industry experts. Like last time we have with Amazon, Ananta Bhagina sir, who is currently a senior developer manager, and in Intel, Arvind Gopal sir, he is currently a director. He's working from 22 years in Intel. So continuing this legacy, we have you. And continuing you, we have from Nvidia and Tesla also. So we are
Nice.
bringing some great alumni who are really out of the box achievers to our college and making a bridge between the students and the alumni so that the students will get very much benefited, sir. And also, as we have discussed, we are planning a session on LLMs and all. So I think that will be that will happen very soon. So I also thank you for that, sir, for accepting such kind invitation. So kindly, very
Yeah.
much thank you for accepting. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, bro.
That
Yeah.
is the end of it. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yes.
So yes, we
Cheers,
can
everybody.
meet up. Bye, sir.
Yep.
Have a great day
Bye.
and congratulations for everything.
Thanks, man. Chalo. Cheers.